Good evening, everyone, and welcome to a new era for Ducks college football. Thanks for joining us. I'm David Molko. In less than 12 hours, we saw the Pac-12 as we know it dissolve before our eyes. First, it was Oregon along with the Washington Huskies, and then tonight, Arizona, Arizona State, and Utah all bolted. That leaves the conference with just 4 teams, including the Oregon State Beavers. And hey, even if you are not a sports fan, these changes have big implications for the future of those universities and beyond. Orlando Sanchez starts our team coverage tonight. Orlando, huge news, a chaotic day. Walk us through how it all went down and what happens now.
David, this was a roller coaster ride if you were on Twitter today. Early this morning, the insiders that cover college football hinted that there was some optimism. The Pac-12 would stay together. But that all changed in just a matter of hours. Oregon, Washington jumped to the Big Ten, joining USC and UCLA. For the Ducks, this was an opportunity they couldn't pass up.
It's the end of an era.
It sets us up for the future in this changing landscape.
Oregon is leaving the Pac-12.
We've done everything we could to find an opportunity forward with the Pac-12.
Ending a relationship that goes back more than a century.
I'm proposing that we assign our granting rights to the Big Ten Conference.
University of Oregon Board of Trustees voting unanimously to join the Big Ten Conference.
Aye.
Madison.
Aye.
The move goes into effect in August of 2024. Money at the center of it. U of O President Carl Schulz.
Over the 10 years of the deal, we anticipate averaging over $50 million just from direct media rights.
The final straw coming after the Pac-12 failed to finalize a new media deal on par with the top conferences around the country. Media deals are a key part of revenue, money that helps fund the entire athletic department, and it impacts exposure, how fans watch games. In Eugene, there's a positive vibe on campus.
They'll have a lot more competition in Big Ten, and there'll be a lot more teams.
This is exciting, and I think that what it's going to do on a national level for exposure for these schools that are transferring from the Pac-12 is going to be a positive.
There's no doubt this impacts the schedule and opponents. It also puts rivalry games in jeopardy. The Ducks and Beavers have been playing against each other on the football field since the late 1800s. Oregon Athletic Director Rob Mullins.
Our goal would be to schedule Oregon State in every sport that's possible.
In a statement from the Pac-12, it calls the move incredibly disappointing, referencing the 100-year history, tradition, and rivalries. Now Oregon is just one of many schools saying goodbye to the Conference of Champions.
This is a conference that has just done so much wrong over the years. I mean, you can go back to Larry Scott's tenure and 11 years of mismanagement and really the road to today being set by the former commissioner.
Columnist and radio host John Canzano says the fall of the Pac-12 didn't happen overnight.
You know, the loss of USC and UCLA really dates back a decade when the members in the conference decided that they wanted equal revenue sharing, and they voted against the LA schools. I also put some of this on George Kliavkoff, the Pac-12 commissioner. Look, he inherited this job. He should have been camped on USC's lawn, making sure they didn't leave. He lost USC, he lost UCLA, he lost Colorado.
And David, the bottom line with Oregon's president basically saying the money was better with the Big Ten than what was on the table for the Pac-12.
Wow, I mean, football obviously the big money maker here. Does this affect other sports, though?
Absolutely, in so many ways. We talk football because that's where the money maker is in college sports, but this type of money funds all of your athletic programs, and now those programs, soccer, baseball,
right.
You name it, they've got to figure out all the logistics. So Oregon is not out of the woods. All of the travel that will go across the country now. They're not just going up north, heading into a couple of states. Now they're going all the way across to play teams like Michigan, Penn State, Rutgers.
Huge changes.
Expensive.
I mean, we're not exaggerating when we say the end of an era here. I know it is early, but let's talk about Corvallis. What's going on with Oregon State? What are the options for the Beavers now?
Right, David. That is what is going to keep Oregon State brass up late tonight as they figure out what the future holds for them, because they've got bills to pay as well, from a new stadium renovation to a head coach's new contract. Where do they go from here? That is the huge question. Right now, they've been loyal to the Pac-12 conference. They've been one of the few schools that has come out and said anything about how they're united with the Pac-12. So it is up to the Pac-12 to go from 4 to however many schools it's going to take to get a media deal done and make some money.
You know, so many questions. I'm so glad we have you to make sense of it all. Thank you so much, Orlando. Speaking of Oregon State, our Catherine Cook went to Corvallis tonight to take the temperature of the Beaver Nation. Here's what she found.
In Corvallis, the new Reser Stadium sits empty ahead of a season full of promise and a broken conference. It's a strange state to be in, an emotional tug of war, and for fans, not a civil one. The University of Oregon jumped ship Friday. So did Washington. For those counting, that leaves just 4 schools left in the Pac-12. Oregon State is one of them.
Not super thrilled about it. I liked our conference. Thought it was competitive. We had some good games, some good rivalries for sure.
Here come the Beavers!
None more storied than the rivalry game between the Ducks and Beavers, a tradition dating back to 1894.
I think there's more important things in life than just money, like tradition, rivalries, and something that we can always count on as a state, as the fabric of who we are as Oregon.
But now, who exactly are we?
The Pac-4, I guess. Keep it simple.
It's an identity crisis, but fans are managing. Walk me through your emotions.
Well, we've always been Beaver fans. We haven't always been Pac-12 fans. So we'll always be here to root on the Beavers no matter what conference we're in.
On the surface, it appears the force driving teams out of the Pac-12 is money. Here in Corvallis, some Beavers fans are floating another theory.
I guess other teams, they scared. They see us getting good, so they don't want to be around no more.
Washington State is sticking around, at least for now.
I think it hits home.
On Friday, Cougars football coach Jack Dickert talked about losing rivalry games in the Northwest, including the Apple Cup.
But at the end of the day, you know, what's it worth? I understand business. You know, I understand change. Everyone's got to change, and we got to adapt. And Wazoo will find its way. We have for 100 and some years.
Beavers coach Jonathan Smith is focusing on what's in front of him.
I just echo what we talked about as a team last night. What we have in front of us is certain, and these guys have built this program and worked so hard to allow this to be a huge distraction. We're not gonna do it.
This is the state of Division I football.
Did Colorado leave as well? Yeah, we know you're scared, Deion Sanders. We know you're scared.
In Corvallis, Catherine Cook, KGW News.
I love that because they are scared. All right, stay with KGW for continuing coverage as the Ducks fly away. We're going to stay across the exit process and what life in the Big Ten might look like. The Pac-12 too for Oregon State on air, online, on the KGW app, and streaming anytime on KGW+. Let's take you to Lynn County now in a brush fire that broke out around 3 this afternoon that has since mushroomed to about 200 acres. This has been named the Price Borough Fire. Some Stixie homes are under level 3. Go now evacuation order. 60 homes, I should say, around Mount Tom Drive. That's about 9 miles east of Harrisburg on the east side of I-5 there. New video and shows crews battling those flames this evening from both the ground and the air. The Lynn County Sheriff's Office says there is an emergency shelter for anybody who needs it at the Lynn County Fairgrounds. So far, officials say the fire has not reached any houses. At this point, no word on the cause. Let's go right to meteorologist Joe Ranieri now. Joe, how is the wind looking right now?
Well, David, the winds are pretty calm right now, but again, we are going to be seeing the fire danger high throughout much of the state heading into this weekend. We really haven't seen a drop of measurable amount of rain in weeks. As we look at the winds right now, all is pretty quiet and starting to pick up a little bit down in the central and southern part of the Willamette Valley. But as we jump ahead into tomorrow, we're not going to be seeing really strong winds at times throughout the metro area or the beach here the next 24 to 48 hours. At most, we'll be seeing gusts anywhere from 25 to 30 miles an hour. You travel into the Columbia River Gorge and along the east side of the state, that's where the winds will really start to pick up, especially heading into Sunday afternoon. The other thing that we're tracking has been the thunderstorms, very intense storms moving in throughout parts of southern Oregon and along the high desert in Deschutes County earlier this afternoon. That has kind of tapered off just a little bit, but again, they're going to be picking up again tomorrow afternoon, basically throughout the foothills of the mountains, east throughout parts of the Oregon, Idaho, Idaho border, those storms will be strong at times. A red flag warning will be in place a good part of the weekend. As we look at the smoke forecast as well, we'll start to see some light smoke at times. Again, over in Lane County, that's where that smoke will be really thick, but it'll start to pour in throughout parts of eastern Oregon later on this weekend as well. I'll talk more about your detailed forecast and what you can expect to see the next few days in just a few minutes.
A lot to keep an eye on. Thank you, Joe. Let's get you caught up on tonight's other headlines now. Portland police are trying to determine whether an act of vandalism at the Lansu Chinese Garden may have been a bias crime. Right now, they are not ruling it out, but say they have not found evidence that points to it. Someone shattered a window in the garden's tea house last night with a piece of granite. The garden's director says she believes it was a hate crime with the city's Chinese festival just hours away. In Bend, police are trying to track down the person in this SUV who's a possible suspect in the death of a woman last month. If you were in town on Friday, July 14th and have dash cam video or a Tesla that records video, police are asking you to go back and review it. That is July 14th. They want to see if it recorded this silver 2004 Honda CR-V driving around. 28-year-old Evelyn Weaver was found dead inside her home on Hill Street, just south of downtown. Weaver's car was found in Klamath Falls, where surveillance video recorded a man getting out and walking away. If you have any tips, you're asked to call Bend Police. And near Happy Valley, 4 dogs are safe. An alleged car thief now in jail. Clackamas County Sheriff's deputies say they pulled over a car Thursday morning on Southeast 82nd that was missing a front license plate, along with several windows. The driver apparently told deputies the vehicle belonged to a friend, but authorities say the plate in back did not match the car's VIN. Deputies say the car was stolen in Tigard in June. The woman was taken to jail, and her dogs were picked up by a friend.